Now, I really felt compelled to do this video. I wanted to shoot this video, and I wanted to talk to whoever needs to hear it or wants to hear it. One of the things that came to mind is, and I thought to myself is, be fearless. You have to be fearless and live in life because you have to understand that we're all only here for a temporary amount of time. We're not going to be here forever. And, time is, as they say, fleeting. Time passes, all our time passes, and eventually, you know, the time we spent on this world expires. So, in that sense, I think you have to be fearless. And then some people think being fearless means, being tough, being a thug, standing up to whoever. Part of it is maybe some of those things to you or to someone else. But what I mean by being fearless is standing firm in your convictions, being fearless to get up every day or night to face the challenges in your life. Now, when I look at what's going on at the Capitol, with the unrest and a lot of the what they say protests, but really I consider them terrorists. I mean, if you look at it, how they were carrying on, climbing the walls and whatnot, facing down cops and like it's all for as they say, shock and awe. They want to shock the system and all people into like, oh my god, like what's going on, and they're going to tear down, America in a sense. But as a black man in America, and as a black man who's culturally aware, who's who values research and historical context, I understand that change is always met with violent opposition. And it doesn't matter, you know, whatever that change may be. If that the bigger the change, the more the opposition. So we're gonna have to understand that. So when I see people that's that violently opposed, that means to me we're going in the right direction. And we have to stand firm and be fearless in our convictions. Don't get distracted from the things that you need to do in life. Don't get so absorbed because ultimately if you do, they win. Okay? Don't get so absorbed in what you see, as far as, in Washington, D.C., as far as people talking about, as far as on social media. I welcome distractions in my life, sports, um, you know, my artistic endeavors, and the different things that I choose to do outside of, dealing with some of the more serious things in life. You have to have those things that can sort of capture your imagination, because ultimately if you stop being a dreamer and you stop pursuing the things that you need to pursue in life, then they win. you know Ultimately they win because you become then a slave of their actions. I refuse to be a slave mentally, first physically, but then ultimately mentally. You can't allow anyone to trap you into their thought process. And ultimately, that's what happened to a lot of these people that follow Trump. They become slaves to Trumpism, to Trump's rhetoric. They become slaves, but primarily because they wanted to be. They were open to being hypnotized by this man because he said the right things. Make America great again. What does that mean? What are we talking about? That type of rhetoric. So you're talking about going back in time, okay? For African Americans or blacks in this country, going back in time is not necessarily a good thing. We got to keep pressing forward. Don't get distracted and be fearless in your convictions. Don't concede to these bully tactics, because ultimately that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to bully us into their mindset. Stay firm. Honor the ancestors, okay? Because the same spirit that was in those folks to try to storm the Capitol is the same thing our ancestors had to deal with, who had their homes burned down, had their towns burned down. See, we have to understand that as a people, we're almost starting from scratch in a sense, in terms of building wealth, building legacy wealth, learning investments, learning stocks, learning real estate, learning how to pass down wealth. We're basically starting from scratch, where we're free to kind of think of those things, even though there's certain obstacles, obviously. but we're free in a sense to think about the things that we need to do to prepare the next generation, our kids, our kids' kids, and later on down the line. So we can't afford to be distracted by some of the things that's going on. Be politically aware, no question about it. Be politically aware and participate in the process, but do not get distracted from the work that needs to take place because ultimately we have to take care of home. You got to take care of what's going on at home. You got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of your family. And then the more productive members of society that you create and that you give birth to and that you, um, you know, uh, 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 plant seeds and water them in a way that where they can grow into beautiful trees with all types of nutrients, for lack of a better word. I'm being figurative here, and I'm using what they say imagery to tell a story. But as people and as Black people in America, we have to plant seeds in fertile soil so those trees can grow and prosper, and then within the next generation they can be the next game changers, the next inventors, the people that continue to drive culture forward. Okay, so we can't get distracted in the past. Let them individuals who want to live in the past, focus on the past, and want to make America great again, let them live in the past. But we're going to continue to live in the future. We're going to make America greater than the past. That's what we focus on. Continue to focus on the future. Be fearless. Don't get distracted, and keep pushing forward. And that's my inspiration. In a sense, I'm talking to myself, but I'm talking to whoever else needs to listen because it's a reminder. You know what I mean? And the folks that I like to be around and associate with all think the same. We're not going to get distracted. We're going to continue to push forward with our dreams and our ideas and inspire ourselves and inspire those who choose to listen. So peace, y'all. I'm out. Y'all stay safe out there.